Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Simone here. So today I'm going to be filming the next part to my Stand Up To The TBR, and this is going to be books 21 to 30. I will link the playlist of the two previous episodes of this I've done. Go check out the last one if you don't want to be spoiled, but I'm just going to quickly give an update on the ones I did read. If you don't know, my Stand Up To The TBR is me reading all of the oldest books on my Goodreads list, and basically being able to kind of cross some older books off my list that I've been wanting to read for a while. So I will link the wrap-ups that I talked about these books in, but in February I read Ashley Bell by Dean Koontz and I gave it a 2-star. In March I read Splintered by A.G. Howard and I gave it a 2-star. I also read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs and I gave that a 4-star. I read Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee and gave that a 1-star. And I read The Rosie Project by Graham Simpson and I gave that a 3-star. Then I didn't read any of them in April, but in May I read First and Then by Emma Mills and I gave that one 3-star. And I also read The Book of Speculation by Erica Swyler and gave that a 3-star. Those, my May wrap-up obviously hasn't come up yet because I haven't done it because it's not the end of May yet, but when that comes up I will link the May one as well, but other than that I'll link the others for you. Check out the May one when it comes up. So I didn't really have a great time with this lot. The first Stand Up To The TBRs I did, I mostly gave like 4 and 5 stars, but for some reason this set of books just wasn't really great for me, but I'm glad I finally have read them and can cross them off. So let's get started and have a look at what the next 10 have in store for me. So the first one is actually one I'm very excited to read, and that is Another Day in the Death of America, A Chronicle of 10 Short Lives by Gary Young. And I believe this is non-fiction, so this is going to be my first non-fiction book in ages. I feel like I don't really read non-fiction enough. But this basically is where Gary Young took a random day in America, he just picked a random day. And on that day, 10 young children or young people were killed by gunfire. And so he then talks about their lives basically. And I think it's supposed to show how on any random day there are children and other people being murdered by gunfire. And it's supposed to kind of show that and kind of talk about what we need to be doing and how we need to be changing that. I really want to read this. I've only heard good things. I think Lauren from Lauren and the Books read this, and I just, like I said, I'm really looking forward to read this. So it's definitely staying on my list and hopefully my library has it or I'll buy it. The second book on the list is Assassin's Heart by Sarah Ahiers. I don't know how you say her surname, but this is a YA fantasy about 9 families, like rival families of assassins who one day the family that the main character is part of is murdered, and then she has to set out to kind of avenge their deaths, I guess. I'm actually going to take this off my TBR just because for me this isn't really one that's sort of sticking out for me right now, and I feel like I've read a lot of YA fantasy and this just doesn't sound like my type of thing, so I'm definitely going to take this one off the list. Next up is a book that's been on my radar obviously for quite a while since it's in this video, but I actually remember wanting to read this quite some time ago, and actually it kind of links in quite nicely to the first book on this list, and this one is This Is Where It Ends by Marika Nijkamp. I think that's how you say it. This is actually it's a fictional book about a school shooting, and I have heard some mixed things about this, but I have always really wanted to read it. I've never read a book about a school shooting, and I just feel like it's so prevalent at the minute. In fact, on the day I'm filming this, I believe it was 2 days ago, so on Saturday, there was a massive school shooting in America, which is absolutely horrendous and horrible, and I just really want to kind of read more. I think I've read one non-fiction about written by Dylan Klebold's mother, and he was one of the perpetrators of the Columbine killings in America, but I do really want to read a bit more and just kind of find out a bit more about it really. So yeah, this one's going to stay on my list. I'm actually really interested to read it. So apparently this Stand Up To The TBR is all about America and about non-fiction and kind of serious topics, because the next one, number 4, is A False Report, a true story of rape in America, and that's by Christian Miller. And I have heard good things again about this. This is, I think, about people who've cried rape. I'm not 100% sure, I could be wrong. I think this is about people who falsely accused people of rape, and it's about their stories and about how it's changed their lives and things. And again, this is something that's happening a lot. And I think it's difficult because it's hard to know when someone's being genuine and when someone is accusing somebody falsely. And it is another big topic at the minute. So again, this is another one I'm going to keep on the list, and I'll have read 2 non-fictions, so that's quite interesting. Number 5 I'm very nervous about, and this is Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. Now, you may all know I tried to read The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson and I just couldn't get into it. I own The Final Empire and I will read that at some point, but Steelheart is on my list, so maybe that will be the one to change my mind about Brandon Sanderson's writing. I am going to keep it on this list just because I really want to find one that I like, but to be honest with you, I'm just not holding out that much hope, but we'll see how it goes. Number 6 is actually a book that I currently own, which is quite interesting. I like to read the books that I own and get those on this list because it's always good to kind of whittle my TBR pile, physical pile down, and that is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. And I don't have the illustrated version, which I know a lot of people do, but I still think this could be really interesting. I've read one Patrick Ness book before. I read More Than This, I think, is that what it was called? I wasn't the biggest fan. It was okay, it just wasn't really for me, so hopefully this is a bit more up my street. I believe this is about a young boy whose mother is very ill, and then he has this dream about this monster coming in the window, and it goes from there. I really don't know too much about it. I'm really interested and excited to read this, and like I said, it's been on my shelf for quite a while, so hopefully I really like it. Next up is Monster Island by David Wellington, and I don't know too much about this apart from it's a horror story about zombies, and I think you will probably know by now that I have a bit of a soft spot for a zombie novel, so I'm going to keep this on here. I think it's the first in a series. I'm not sure how many books are in it, and I just do like a zombie novel, I won't lie. So yeah, I'm going to keep this and hopefully I really like it. Number 8 I'm not sure about. This is The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls, and I think I tried to start reading it. I believe it was like last year, or was it the beginning of this year? I don't know. I started reading it and I just couldn't really connect to it. But I know that the movie, I think, has just come out, or they're making a movie or something, and I think that I'm going to give it another try just because, like I said, I think it's one of those ones where I think I just need to give it another go. And hopefully I really like it. I don't know anything. The thing is, it's a memoir basically about a woman who I think has grown up in like poverty, and then she now is a reporter or something, or like a journalist, I'm not sure, like a TV journalist I think. And I think it's meant to be about the juxtaposition between poverty and kind of riches. But to be honest with you, the thing that really I struggle with is sometimes I find it difficult to read a memoir from someone that I know nothing about, because I feel like you're not really invested in the story and you don't really, I hate to say, you don't really care, like it doesn't matter to you. But I feel like I said, if I will give it another go, see what I think. If I can't get through it this time, then I'm just going to DNF it and leave it as that. But yeah, I think I'll give it a go and see how I get on. Number 9 is Curio by Evangeline Denmark, and this is another start to a series. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. This is a sci-fi / fantasy YA book, and I'm actually just going to quickly read the synopsis from my laptop in front of me here. So sorry, my glasses I know will probably be shining right at you, but they do that from the window, so I can only apologise. But it says here, Grey Howard has always detested the chemists, the magicians come scientists who rule her small western town. But she has always followed the rules, taking the potion the chemists ration out that helps the townspeople survive. A potion that Grey suspects she, like her grandfather and father, may not actually need. By working at her grandfather's repair shop, sorting the small gears and dusting the curio cabinet inside, Grey has tried to stay unnoticed, or as unnoticed as a tall, strong girl can in a town of diminutive, underdeveloped citizens. Then her best friend Wit is caught by the chemist's enforcers after trying to protect Grey one night, and after seeing the extent of his punishment, suddenly taking risks seems the only decision she can make. But with the risk comes the reality that the chemists know her family's secret, and the chemists soon decide to use her for their own purposes. Panicked, Grey retreats to the only safe place she knows, her grandfather's shop. There, however, a larger secret confronts her when her touch unlocks the old curio cabinet in the corner and reveals a world where porcelain and clockwork people are real. There she could find the key that may save Wit's life and also end the chemist's dark rule forever. And I'm not sure if that sounds like something I would like. If I can get this from the library, I'm going to give it a go. If it's not available at my library, I'm not going to go and buy it, I think is what I've decided. So we'll see. I'm not really sure. I feel like this is the theme for this video. This Stand Up to the TBR set is non-fiction and like hard-hitting subjects from America and books that I'm not really sure about. And then the final book is The Things We Keep by Sally Hepworth. This sounds like a very strange book. This is about a woman who has early onset dementia or Alzheimer's at the age of like 30 something, and her family put her into an assisted living facility, which she kind of understands because she knows that it's kind of best for her. And there's only one other resident at this sort of facility that's the same age as her, and they kind of have like a blossoming romance. Now, I am going to keep this on my list, which means I've only got rid of one at this time, but I'm really hoping that it really touches on the elements of Alzheimer's and dementia more than just romance, because I obviously love a romance book, that's fine, but I do hope that it does talk about the dementia side, because if you don't know, and I think I've talked about this in previous videos, my great nan passed away in December, and she had dementia. It was one of the main reasons why she wasn't very well. And I think reading a book about it might just help me or make me feel a little bit better. Either that or it will completely destroy me, I'm not sure, but hopefully because it's early onset and it's not actually the exact one that my great nan had, I might find it a little bit easier. I don't know, I'll let you know obviously. So basically that is my Stand Up to the TBR books of 21 to 30. I have got rid of one of my TBR, so that's still 9 books to read, 3 of which are, like I said, hot topics from America. They're talking about school shootings and false accusations of rape. So I feel excited to read those. I feel like really interested that I'm going to learn something. I'm not sure about the other books in this list because there's quite a few fantasy books that I'm not sure about and a couple of memoirs, I think. So I think this one's going to be an interesting one. I will obviously keep you updated in my wrap-ups, and then I will do another video when I finish them. I don't know when that will be, whenever I finish. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I've gained some new subscribers recently, which has been really, really exciting. If you want to do a Stand Up to the TBR similar thing, then please tag me in the videos below, or just tell me what you want to read off your list and write it in the comments, because I'm always really interested. Right, let me know what is the oldest book on your TBR. I'm really, really interested to know. And like I said, I shall see you in my next video. Bye guys!